hosting an event with another organization, guest coaching, going live, doing a brand takeover, trading your services, deciding to have a PR goal, going on a podcast as a guest, joining a networking group. So all of that is stuff you can do or start to create and prepare today so that you can feed your leads. Being limitless is knowing your success and your growth are built on a radical belief in yourself. Limitless is honoring your purpose, your health, and impact above all else. Limitless is never playing small, because the more alive you feel in your life, the more growth and success you attract. Hi, my name is Jamie Ratterman, and I am a holistic business coach, meaning I am just as invested in growing your health as I am in growing your wealth. With 11 plus years in brand and social media marketing, I help rebellious entrepreneurs master marketing, embody leadership, and say fuck it to the hustle. This show is here to encourage you to become more radically aware of your self-imposed limits, to break free of your shoulds, and to expand your brand into a movement led by you. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to another episode of the Limitless Podcast. I can't wait to kind of chat through today because I know it's going to be an episode that many people want to talk through, but in general, I've been just like kind of flowing through a lot with life right now. In general, there's wedding planning going on. And really, it's sometimes really hard to get back into the balance of work. There's a future episode coming your way of me talking about balancing wedding and business and life, all of the in between. But in general, over the weekend, I went ahead and bought my veil. It was really fun. It was really exciting because it was exactly what I wanted. I pulled it up and I was able to just, get into the vibe of what wedding day will be. And for me, the veil was something really important, but I don't want to give too many details away. But one of the things that leads into today's episode is that in talking with the salesperson about this item that I'm so excited for around my wedding, she was able to tell me about her life, what she wants, what she's passionate about, as we were going through the process of buying it, going and deciding. And in the process, I was like, yeah, I have a podcast and I help entrepreneurs who are passionate about what they do build wealth into their business. And she goes, oh my God, I've been looking for someone like you. And I'm going to tell you this off, letting you know that it was not intentional. But I now have someone in my universe that was simply a lead from having regular conversations in my day-to-day, and also too loving what I do. So whenever we are thinking about how we can find new leads, that's what we're talking about today. I want you to realize that it can be a lot easier than what people make it out to be. Being able to really get grounded in what you love, why you love it, and, allowing it to come up in conversation naturally can be a part of it. But I have this where in my community, we always love to hear about launches, right? How to have that 30K, 100K launch, whatever that might look like. In truth, though, the best launches are always going to happen in between launches. But put it another way, you are always a business selling to potential clients. Just like I was saying, whenever I'm the veil salesperson, just like I sat there and was like, yeah, I'm allowed to talk about my business and how I can help anybody at any time of the day, not just during launch time. I think there's a sense of when there's a new product or when there's a new program, or even when there's a sale, if that is the only time we're hearing about your business, about your offers, there's going to be a bit of this, I don't know, tension, or you might feel like you have to cold DM. You might feel like you just have to always be selling in a let's say a hard way, versus trying to allow the warming up of your clients to be a little bit easier. So it's not uncommon that soon after, when I start sharing about launching or sharing about how business gets to be easy, is that I get the question, where am I going to find leads? I'm sure many of you have that thought running through your head now, that you do not have any customers or you're not sure where to find them. So let's just define this. A lead is a person out in the world that would likely, if not definitely, benefit from your product or service. AKA, that means they will be interested or getting excited about any information in that general arena and in the way in which you can help. So a lead is not somebody who you got to track down. You don't have to hunt for them. You don't have to do any of these things. It's going like, how can I think about what would make it easier for a person who's likely interested in my product or service to find their way to me? So that's a big part of it. So I wanted to define this first because I believe this process gets overcomplicated, clearly. Leads can sound like a big business term, when in short, they are just people who are interested, period. So when we go looking or begin to magnetize new leads, the first step is always going to be to know what your brand is about, who gets to benefit the most from it, and why you started your business. This is the basics of building a memorable brand. If you are wanting to learn how to do that, I have limitless episodes on this, but of course I help my clients this way. But feel free to go back to the episodes about ideal clients, about building your brand story, as well as your content pillars. All of that can help you start to do the basics of building that memorable brand. But I want you to think about your brand as like a lighthouse, this strong, bold, standing tall. That is what gets to be like your backbone, your confidence. Your light, wherever you're deciding to shine it, is where you encourage ships of interesting clients to come and find you. That's how you want to think about this. So if the more clear we can be in this sense, the easier this goes. But so this is the episode that instead of focusing on building the brand, we're going to talk about the habits, the rituals, and the routines so that you can be ABGL. Always be getting leads in general, making it easy for you to always be getting leads, not just during launch time. I like to put acronyms sometimes just to make it fun. So one of the best ways is, of course, content strategy, your website, your marketing ecosystem. You've all heard me talk about this, but just for this episode, since we chat about these topics often, I'm going to leave this top point out of the conversation. If you all like this episode, of course, though, I can absolutely start talking about what it means to create lead generating content strategy, all of the above. Today, though, I'm going to share 3 tactics that work for the quickest turnaround when it comes to bringing in new leads. And please know that this can be just the tip of the iceberg. This is what I like to call, these are some of the tips and some of the strategies that I give clients when I talk about unlaunching their business. So letting it not be so much about big campaigns, big pushes, big launches, how we can, in general, week over week, build a foundation that regularly brings in clients. So the first and foremost, we'll get started here. We're going to start with TDE, your total daily engagement. So this is a term a lot of marketing pros like to use, but also too, it is also a sense of being able to think about how if you do this daily, it gets a little bit easier. So total daily engagement. This is the practice where you actively are engaging with and where your potential clients hang out. This can mean responding to comments on your posts, devoting time to your DMs, in general, keeping a warm conversation with potential clients who tend to hover around your business. This can also mean responding to comments with others on like-minded businesses posts. So if you see experts in the field that you want to engage with and you get to engage with the people in the comments, that's a part of this. You can also actively use hashtags and SEO to source businesses and people who align with who your ideal client is. That can also support you in being able to just make sure you are commenting or in the right rooms. And of course, something like participating in groups on Facebook or other community groups. This is all part of what this looks like. Now, this is not, let me repeat this. This is not cold DMing. In fact, this is the opposite. This is like inviting potential leads to a pool party. So then you are warming them up to the idea of being able to work with you. You're not selling them on the first engagement with them. You are talking about your expertise. You're giving value. You're giving personal stories, whatever that might be. You are warming up any potential leads to understanding your energy, your vibe. And then, of course, allow them to become a warm lead when it's time to launch, when it's time to sell, for the fact that if they are in your world and they really enjoy you, they're going to not feel like it's a hard sell when you're ready for releasing a new product. So being able to know that I will regularly be talking with people in the DMs, asking them about their day, inviting them to small freebies, or just seeing what they think about something that I thought they would find of interest. That's a regular part of my week to week, so that when it is time for a launch of Marketing Mastery or a launch of any of my other programs, that I will be like, we've been talking a lot about this particular topic. It would be really great to be able to have you in the room. And that's a conversation that gets to start and end very simply. So knowing that I am always against cold DMing, mostly because maybe my inbox is full of them and every single one of them is full of crap. Like I got a cold DM the other day where actually it was a cold email specifically, where they took a screenshot of my website and were trying to act as if they were going to give me guidance on what they think I should adjust on my website. And all they did was let the screenshot kind of flow up and down on the video and tell me about how they can give me 20 new clients a week or something insane. And I sat there going, oh, you did no research except for take a screenshot of my site. Just giving this idea of how cold DMs just are such a waste of time, especially when there's so much possibility to find people online. We share parts of what we're passionate about, what we're for. So TDE is that opportunity for you to create warm conversation, easy sells, and in general, an inviting experience into your business. The internet is a place where you can strike up a conversation with anyone and you can find shared interests through their social. So this is the point. It's truly a treasure for business owners like you, but it's so underused. Absolutely underused. So being able to think about TDE, it's about creating a daily or weekly routine of engaging with potential partners, clients, or simply just getting into conversations with others in your industry. So taking a second to think about that. It's about opening doors to new clients and making visibility a habit instead of this like adrenaline fueled deadline for your launch. When you don't feel like you have to sell somebody, you're going to be a more welcoming presence in their DMs. Just think about that. So to create a TDE routine, I want you to think about starting small. Spend 15 minutes a few times a week responding to your any responses you're getting to your IG stories, or just engaging with others who engage with you. You can also think about creating a 10 brands that you'd love to partner with, or even experts in your field that you would love to engage with, and make sure you're DMing and sharing their content on a regular basis. And then of course you can find Facebook groups, Reddits, and like and comment and share on those posts as well. You want to focus on value first. You want to focus on commonalities. You want to, in general, act as if you're meeting someone for coffee more than you're trying to sell someone right away. Don't overcomplicate this. Dedicate about 10 to 15 minutes 2 to 3 times a week. It really can be enjoyable. It's like being able to know that, oh, I'm going to go be social on social media, or I'm going to go be social on what the internet provides, even when my posting goals were a little bit lower. So the more you can do this, the more like your DMs get to be the place that ends up selling. And I will say that I absolutely did a launch, probably, I think it was the second or third launch of Marketing Mastery, where I filled my program based off of referrals from my DMs and the people in my community, and being able to simply talk directly in stories. That was a tactic because I was a little bit low on time and couldn't post as much as I wanted to. So thinking about how if you have TDE, you may not need to do all of the other things. You may not need to this is where you start from the beginning. Usually too, when a client will tell me that they just feel overloaded, they don't have the time to build out as much content as they want to, I'll be like, okay, so what is the closest thing to your sales? And it's being able to look who's hanging out with you in your DMs, in your comments, and making sure you're having regular conversation. So at a minimum, think about how you could have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday 15-minute routine. I usually do mine in the morning so I can check it off the list, and then have outreach and direct connection be that simple, just engaging and talking with them. But it's about actually doing it now when you aren't selling on a deadline, that you can make it feel like you're not as attached to the result, and that will allow the launches to get a little easier. So starting here, TDE, make sure you know that you are talking to the right people. Number 2 is partnerships. So building business has so much more to do with working with others than sitting solo on an island hoping someone will come to save you. Okay. So the more you can get out there, the more you can create relationships, the better you're going to be. 110%. No matter if you're just wanting to grow your social media audience, or if you're really looking for a way to partner with someone that's going to be able to send you clients. So for many of the most successful brands and businesses out there, they grew based off simply trading with others who were looking for the support in the same way. So your ability to not only get visible in front of your own audience, but also in front of a new audience is what is going to make all the difference. So like in my consulting days, the first 2 steps I always took with new clients, or like even a struggling brand, it was first and foremost, of course, to establish a really strong content strategy. that actively attracted the community. We're not talking about that today, but that was always the biggest first step. The second step was to identify potential contest partnerships or even promotional opportunities with like-minded brands. So being able to know that if I was really wanting to grow their community fast, that second piece was going to allow me to make sure any of the work I was doing in building their content, like if I could get new faces from a trusted brand to come to us, that would make the growth happen a little faster and a lot easier for sure. So this would ensure that we could get those new eyes that we're looking for and allow them to be more likely to stick around whenever the content hit right. So this is the fastest track to growing your audience. Partnering with another creator, a brand, or organization that has a like-minded audience or some type of ideal client crossover. So you'll want to do your research, of course. You don't want to just partner with just anybody, but it allows you to take that leap rather than having that incremental growth at first. So think about on a regular basis, who are you partnering with? So this can look like hosting an event with another organization. That's like even too for many of my coaches out here, it might be guest coaching or speaking on a panel of some kind. It's going live with another brand or another creator. That's something where you easily have that crossover. Doing a brand takeover, it's still like it used to be a lot more popular than it is now, but it still works fantastically well where you share a little bit in someone's brand stories, or even to do an email takeover. That works so successfully with my TEDx speakers, of being able to do like a guest blog and a guest email to their email list. That can be really supportive. You want even too, you can trade your services for awareness. So if you find that, let's say someone who's got a really large audience is looking for your type of support, yeah, you may not be able to get a promotional ad from them like they would if like you were paying them. But the idea is what if you could give them the opportunity to like feed off of what you can do, and they promise to provide some type of awareness to your audience. I've had clients who've worked with bloggers before that have crazy large audiences, and just by going, okay, yeah, I'll do this for you for a month if you agree to feature me in your YouTube video or feature me in your stories twice. That was something that built months and months of consistent income. How lovely is that, right? You can also use websites like Haro to give some expert guides to an article for PR. So Haro is help a reporter out. So if you want to kind of focus on your PR, that's good here. Going on a podcast as a guest, feel free, come on over. I know if you chat with me, my community may love you, but also looking at other podcasts that have like-minded audiences as well. And then finally, of course, we've got joining a networking group and attending something monthly in a community that's not only going to allow you to potentially get clients directly from that group, or just have these people who are close to you that are ready to say, oh, you don't know her, you should know this person, she's able to help you out. Referrals can be so supportive in this way as well. So I just ran through all of those things, but hosting an event with another organization, guest coaching, going live, doing a brand takeover, trading your services, deciding to have a PR goal, going on a podcast as a guest, joining a networking group. So all of that is stuff you can do or start to create and prepare today so that you can feed your leads. Think about this, right? So this idea is that you are giving your knowledge, expertise, or perspective to another organization or brand in some way in exchange for the captivated eyes of their audience. So play with, like, know that can be something that really benefits you. The best way to ensure that this new awareness in those settings become more leads is for this next part that I'm about to get into. So you've built the TDE, you've built the ability for someone to kind of see you as the expert. You've gotten new captivated eyes through partnerships. Number 3, the one that seems to be ignored because everyone thinks it's a lot of work, but it's so important, is building lead generating systems. Now, we are engaging with new communities, followers on a regular basis, seeking out the internet's reciprocity. We have all of these things. We found our groove. We have our routine. Where the hell are we going to put them? Where the hell are we going to know the people that came from this partnership or came from the kind of TDE that I've been working on actually is a warm lead? So this is where we talk about taking a lukewarm lead or a lukewarm interested customer to a warm lead or even a red hot one, right? This is where we are building that lead generating system. So You can hear people talk about client journey during this stage of talking about this. You can hear people talk about email list building. Let me be clear. You will never hear me say that you could lose your social media tomorrow, so you better have an email list. I am not going to be the person that does that bullshit scare tactic or scarcity marketing. If we lose one social media, we will get another one. How many new social media platforms have we gotten? We could lose our email if we're really playing into this ridiculous argument. Instead, I want you to think about this a little bit differently. Your ability to creatively share and showcase your brand is always going to have many outlets and channels. An email list allows you to see your most dedicated and interested followers who've trusted you enough to give you something, to give you their email, so they can experience a closer look at your expertise in business. So we are taking them from a follower to a website browser to an email subscriber. And depending on whatever freebie or training that they choose, you can, lead them into the offer that they're going to be most likely interested in. So for product-based businesses, that discount to become a subscriber on your first order works fantastically. This is somebody telling you that they are truly interested and are considering your product. So that is, if someone joins you, like wanting the discount, it's a good sign that they're ready to buy. But you could also think about creating a quiz to help them decide which product of yours is going to work best. That's going to allow you to really create funnels for who's going to be more into this style or that style, whatever you provide. There's also service-based businesses. Now, a lot of people can talk about live masterclasses, and those are great, but I want to make this simpler for you. This is where you could build a 3-lesson training, or in general, give some type of free process that your ideal clients are always asking for. I like the idea of a free training for the fact that they're kind of like a set it and forget it for you as the provider. So meaning you take the time to build it once, and the clients that benefit from it most will find it on your site or in your link in bio. So even so, as a coach, I'm talking about many processes and steps with my ideal clients on a regular basis. And I love that I still get subscribers from one that I created years ago, because it's still a concept that people need and love. It's in particular the one that I have gotten the most subscribers from still to this day is how to build out 30 days of content. And it's a great lesson that I want to continue to build upon. But knowing that like, even when I'm not talking about that on my podcast or in my content, that when people find me and they really need that kind of support, I can identify how I can help them. So we talk about a lot of these systems and how to build them and what the workflow is. This is a big part of marketing mastery, but here's where you are able to kind of think about how you want to use them for your most impact and benefit. So this is when you'd use these lead generating freebies. So this can be a step 2, right after your guest coaching on a podcast. So being able to know that if someone's listened in to you guest coach or podcast or in general have gotten into your energy in that kind of way, that we're going to be more likely to want to take the next step. So if you give them a next step, they're going to be a subscriber. They're going to be someone who's just a little closer to a purchase. This is also great for when you do a giveaway with another brand, that like being able to know the giveaway might be that they also get into your email list in some way, shape, or form. There's always having a freebie in your link in bio between launches allows you to see who's interested in what your next product or program is going to be. This is going to also be a really great incentive that you include. Let's say you're giving product to an influencer, you're giving product to a promo event, like having some type of incentive for someone to click your QR code and jump on in. That's going to allow you to actually make sure that you are getting customers from any of those kind of freebies you give away. Lead gen freebies like this are the thing that allows leads to come to you on autopilot. I want it to be clear. The reason why people don't do them is that, yes, it takes some build at the beginning, but how many times that I haven't had to warm up a client from a training that I created many years ago or a few months ago. This is what this is about, having these systems that generate new leads for you on a regular basis. Essentially, whenever you have one of these, this is where all of your effort of getting out on social, getting visible with partnerships turns into clients. So making sure you have this. For brands who don't at least have one of these, I will normally call it a marketing fumble. Whenever I'm in listening to a guest coach, or I'm in general learning from somebody on another podcast, and the podcast finishes or the guest coach finishes and they have nowhere for us to go, I just go, oh, you just spent all that time like sharing your expertise and sharing, like putting this lesson together for us. And like I have to go figure out if I can find your site and where I need to go. Like that's a marketing fumble to me. So you like know that this is going to make all of your other efforts build into something. So take a moment to think about what is one of the most frequently asked questions, or simply ask your audience if you need what they would love a training on, and then build it. That like make it as simple as possible. It can be no more than a 20-minute training whenever it comes to building something like this. This episode was about essentially a piece of what it looks like to unlaunch your business, to not solely depend on your launch numbers month over month. You have the ability to sell every damn day with new leads coming in based off of the lighthouse, bringing back to that metaphor from the beginning, based off of being that lighthouse that you are shining on your ideal client. So content, brand strategy is huge in this department. But today we focus specifically on what you can do once you've built that. Commit to creating a TDE schedule weekly, do some partnership outreach monthly, and create a lead gen freebie and workflow quarterly. That is the 1, 2, 3 of being able to go, how do I find new leads? This is how you can bake it into your week, month, and quarter so that you can really guarantee new sales within your business. We talked a lot of tactical today. We talked a lot of strategy. And if you in general got anything from this episode, you're wanting to feel the backbone and the structure of what it is to create a foundation for your business, please know that Marketing Mastery is for you. My signature 12-week business activation program shares exactly how to build up a memorable brand and to own your messaging, how to nurture your best leadership with a business built for you and your lifestyle, and exactly what we talked about today, how to lead a money-making offer suite that is easy to launch. This last piece is a big one though. I have an entire module on what it means to unlaunch your business so that consistent money months are built in. I have a little vendetta in some way. I think that something that comes up a lot when people are considering entrepreneurship, they think that a corporate income is where they can get steady income. In truth, if you build a strong foundation for entrepreneurship, you can have a steady income, and I want to do that with you. Okay, I got really excited. I would get excited about, like, we're talking a lot of the pieces here, but I get excited for the fact that once you have this built in, this stuff gets so easy. It's like for me, creating ease is something that you create for yourself. Ease doesn't just happen like a snap of the fingers. It's being able to gift what you want to your future self by whatever you build today. If you are interested, check the show notes, but also give me a hello over on Instagram at Jamie Ratterman about what kind of support I could give to you, because I would absolutely love for you to see entrepreneurship as a really strong opportunity for you. Until then, live a little more limitless.